how's it going? Welcome back. It's Thursday. Well, damn. What's going on? Allie, chill. Swear. Every time I hit record on this hot damn thing, it's noise central. Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, welcome back. That's right. It's getting rowdy out there. It's Thursday in Monrovia. I should be expected, I guess. Makes no sense. It's Monrovia. Anyways, so, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a sidetrack, if you will, to this week from the, Rob's favorite Rare Lantern series that I started. I'm going to come back to it, of course, next week. But I wanted to share some experiences and some events that I did over the weekend. That's right. So last week, last Thursday, I did mention I was going to be doing something at Union Station, I believe. And I've done this several times over the last couple of years. And that would be participating in the Santa Fe 3751 evening photo shoot. That's, put on by San Bernardino Railroad Historic Society. And they're the foundation that owns and operates funds and does a lot of outreach with the steam engine that they own. So they restored it between 1986 and 1991. And they've done many excursions with the locomotive and everything. And they haven't done anything recently since her, boiler work was completed. She's been to Fullerton a couple times, and she's been to Union every year for LA Railroad Festival, which is great. And Union Station has a big part in that. And I'm really grateful for their involvement and their dedication on getting the steam engine up there. And now I know why. There's an added reason why they always make sure 3751 comes up there. Now, I learned this recently. I'm almost ashamed to say this, but did a little diving, on 3751. I'm pretty familiar with that engine, and I've known her for a very long time. But come to find out, she was the first locomotive to pull a passenger train into Union Station on her opening day of May of 1939. And when I learned that, I now know why it's very important that engine is there, because she was the first. In 1939, she was a little different looking. She had just received an oil-burning tender and a little bit of a retrofit. She was still her pre-war configuration, But then in 40-41, I believe she got retrofitted with Tipkin bearings and larger 80-inch drivers and everything, She got an upgrade. She's a thoroughbred. She's capable of attaining speeds of 100 plus now, since the war. But anyway, I never miss an opportunity to see that locomotive as much as possible. And last year, I got invited the day of. And luckily I had no plans. And they asked me, he was like, hey, can you bail us out? We had somebody that had an antique car that was going to show up, and they can't. And, do you mind? I'm like, sure, not a problem. So I jumped in the Dodge and drove to Union Station and hung out with the steam engine and the crew, with Alex Gilman and Austin and Elliot and the rest of the gang. And that was great. It was very nice. It was a fun event, and you saw the video last year. That was when I actually got to tick a major box and pull the whistle cord of that locomotive and blast that 6 chime. That was quite the treat, and that was something I've wanted to do my entire life. And they made that happen. So, SBRHS is definitely, they're very special people to me, and I enjoy spending time with them always. But anyways, I got the notice earlier this year, earlier this last month. We're still in September, so earlier this month, I guess. Anyways, it's almost over. But they asked me, Alex asked me if I would be interested in participating in the Friday evening shoot, and he told me that Travel Town was going to have their Railroad Express agency truck up there that they restored, 1947 International. And so that was pretty exciting. I thought that was going to be pretty cool. And they asked if I could bring my Dodge, and sure. And I was like, of course I'll bring the Dodge. It also works out for me because then I don't have to pay for parking. I just drive around through the employees' gate and park on this platform next to the engine. It actually works out way better for me. Yeah, it's fine. But anyways, they're doing me a favor. It's like, oh, you want my old car so I can come and hang out next to a steam engine and not have to pay for it? Pfft, of course. But he asked about my relationship, my lady that I'm very much in love with, and he said, oh, would she be interested in coming? And I said, well, yeah, she might not be able to get away though. She might have to bring her children. He's like, oh, well, that'd be great. Can they dress up, period? I'm like, yeah, they sure can. Mom will take care of that. She's like, oh, okay. So they did. And they came up and they participated. And it was awesome. It was a great experience. And, I knew that they enjoyed railroad stuff. They'd, been to Travel Town several times. And, this was the actual first time I got to meet them. And they were just very pleasant. They're very sweet. And, it was a great evening. I knew that all of them were going to enjoy being around a steam locomotive that was under fire and hot and live, because when you're next to a steam engine that's actually functioning, it's a different atmosphere. And after all the cameras popped and everything, and the photo shoot was essentially over around 10 o'clock, I got permission from Alex to get the crew to entertain them in the cab of the engine. So they got to go up there and experience a cab of a steam locomotive with the fire in this firebox. And they smelled the smells, they experienced it. And then when they got down from it, I asked Alex if there was a chance that we could get a whistle blast, and he was kind of like, I don't think we're going to do that tonight. They must have had the reasons, but I just says, they're all experiencing a lot of things right now, and I think it would really benefit them. It would. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, they could use it. He's like, okay. And so he goes up the ladder and he gives several wonderful blasts on that 6 chime, and to see their faces when they heard that and they felt it, they're like, I feel it inside, it's like resonating. And I'm like, I know. Yeah, it's a powerful thing. You can get an idea through the video, but you never know what that's really like until you actually experience it firsthand. When you're right there next to a steam whistle going off, you feel it inside you. And it's incredible. It really is. But I was really grateful that they were able to experience that and treasure it, and apparently they still talk about it. And the other day I saw her and we talked about it, and she was like, that was life-changing. That's something I've always wanted to experience and hear and feel for myself. And I'm like, well, of course. And I've been around that stuff enough since younger, but it doesn't lose its savor. Every time I hear that whistle, it hits a certain way. Now the crew, of course, they're a little desensitized to that. They're around it all the time, and it's just a functioning part of the engine. Something they have to blast at grade crossings and everything. And quite often, but you know, deep down inside, I know that I still get a kick out of it. How could you not? But it was a beautiful little shoot, and we all had a wonderful time, and a lot of things were accomplished that night, and it was beautiful. It was. But I will be filtering in some pictures for you all, and some video. I did record some in the cab. I didn't get the lighting of the engine on camera, but I did make an introduction inside the cab, and also of the fire roaring and everything. So you'll get to see that, and some photos, some of my favorite photos from this year, and also, of course, I'll finish off with the finale, which would be the whistle blast. So I hope that you enjoy the smattering of photos I took this year. And yeah, it's always special to be with that locomotive. It means a lot to me, and it's interesting, you know. She's got local history, and to know all of that she's a local historic locomotive to my area where I grew up, that she's been part of all of that. It hits differently. It's not just a steam engine. It's, you know, she's a native-born engine. You know, well, she was built in, you know, by Baldwin, but she spent her career out here, retired out here. So, yeah, it's very special. I always am grateful for the crew and their involvement of me and their photo shoots and everything, and it's always great, and I do appreciate it. I did take this Acme Inspector out there, and I did burn it, and I'll share some pictures of this railroad inspector lantern with the engine. And it's interesting because this one's dated 4041, right around there, and that's when 3751 got her upgrade and her 80-inch drivers and everything, and her Tipkin bearings. But you know, yeah, it was a good event, and I enjoyed it a lot. So shout out to the crew, Alex and Austin and Elliot, and also those people with, you know, SBRHS. And I will leave a link to their website in the description field, so you can go check it out and join and follow their activities and their upcoming events and everything. If you're in the local area and you want to participate or support them, by all means do so. So shout out to them. I wanted to get an interview with Alex, but I didn't get a chance to do that. He's always running around, you know, dealing with a lot of people, and he's got a lot of work to do always, so I understand. But one of these days I'll get him over here and we can talk about trains and stuff. But anyway, hope you enjoy the photos, some of the videos that I took, and we'll be coming at you next week for another video of Rob's favorite rare lantern picks. And hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Stay tuned for the slideshow and some of the content I made at Union Station this year. All right, take care. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
My. Listen to that rhythm train, boy. Boy, I bet all them hobos are all set under them rods. E-Mole #1 and all them cats. Yeah, man. All aboard for Pittsburgh, Hattiesburg, all the boys. Oh, boy, you can't ride this train.
How's it going? Well, I said I was going to do some content. I'm sitting in the cab of 3751.
Saturday and Sunday, September 20 and 21. Metrolink trains will not run.
Pretty cool. Very excited to be here. They're going to be firing off the engine and getting it ready for the photo shoot. So I thought I'd take this opportunity, sitting in the cab of my personal favorite engine here at Union Station, and just do a little content. So stick around.
this here, boy. You ain't so bad after you all right with me, son. I think I will let you ride.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.